Um, One of the other things that you mentioned your foundation, the Angel Tales Foundation. Um, you were saying some of the things that the foundation, and you were saying it's a new foundation. You just sort of launched it about a year ago. One of the things that you were mentioning that the foundation tries to do is provide educational materials to fire departments and police departments. Now, why is that? Why do they need educational materials?
That is something that we really hope to strongly get out into the community. When someone dies, let's say in a car accident, better yet, let me tell you a story. My friend's son died in Colorado, and the coroner's office called the local police department.
How did he die?
He died suddenly. They're not sure. They think it was maybe an epileptic attack.
Okay.
They're really not sure. She was in Ohio. The police officer tacked a note on her door saying, please call the morgue in Colorado.
Oh
it
my
has to
God.
do with your son.
Oh my God! Please
that
call the morgue. Oh, that's sensitivity.
Exactly. And they don't really mean it. A lot of them are new. A lot of them don't understand. A lot of them call them not by their name. There's a lot of education that needs to be done just in the way that they are giving out these messages. These messages change people's lives. I mean, the moment you speak the words, your child has died, Sean has died, John has died, Sarah has died, you're changing these people's lives forever. So what we'd like to do is to just get in there and to give some education to help them be more compassionate.
You've also written a couple of books. One of your books is called The Angel Tales. It's a chronicle of your journey to visit 11 Angel of Hope statues. Now, I don't know anything about Angel of Hope statues. What's that about?
The Angel of Hope is the book, The Christmas Box, was written by an author named Richard Paul Evans.
And I don't know anything about that. What's that book about?
It's just a really nice little book that he wrote for his children at Christmas time. He was actually in marketing, and he decided to write this book. And in the book, there's a statue of an angel at the base of a grave for a child. And what ended up happening was parents started reading these books who lost children, and they started to pilgrimage to the Utah cemetery in search of this angel statue that didn't exist. So he actually had one made and put in the Utah cemetery for parents to come and see. So what he would find was there'd be teddy bears there and notes there from people all over the United States that were actually making the journey to come to see this statue because somehow it brought them solace. She's a very beautiful statue. He had it made with his daughter's face. She stands there, but she's a beacon of hope. Well, what ended up happening was people wanted to actually bring this statue to their community all over the United States. And so they get together in their community. They join together as parents who have lost children, which is a bonding experience which actually facilitates healing. By doing this together, they do fundraisers together. They have a goal that they're doing together in memory of their child. And then they raise the money to bring her to their community. She sits in parks. She sits in cemeteries. She sits on riverbanks.
So this is a particular angel that's
is
being sort of reproduced in the communities that need her.
Yes, but the interesting part was I was sitting across from my friend who had lost her son, and she said, what's really neat is that there's these quote-unquote miracles that happen wherever the angel goes. At first I thought, okay, it's not like parting the sea kind of miracles, but they're beautiful little miracles that happen. And in that moment, I knew I was supposed to write those stories. So I went around the United States and I collected stories.
About the miracles.
About the different miracles. And this book is actually 10 short stories, but it does one story has 2 angels in it. And it's about what happened, but they range from someone who's lost a child to a miscarriage all the way to a 90-year-old who lost a 70-year-old daughter. And so there's all the spectrum of the grief in this book.
Can you briefly just tell me one of the little miracles? Can you think of any miracles offhand?
Well, I can tell you one of the miracles that happens is people who lose children feel isolated. They feel like no one is going through what they are. They usually isolate themselves. They usually are in very deep depression. They usually see no way out. The miracle that is kind of synonymous through this entire thing is the fact that they find hope. They see the brightness at the end of the tunnel. And they do that by getting together with other parents and realizing that they're not alone.
So is that where the joy comes from at the end of the grieving process, or no?
You know, a lot of parents say they would never put the word joy in their vocabulary or laughter, but they can now. I think it's from the bonding experience. It's from the community that they create, that they can actually learn from each other how to start moving on.
Now, you said you did hospice care for years, and obviously you work for people, with people who are going through these things, whether they themselves are dying or if it's a family, what have you. Has that affected how you view life and death?
Yeah, absolutely. In the 10 years that I did hospice, I saw some very miraculous things when I was with people who are dying. It was an honor to be at their bedside. You know, they go through such a process about dying, the letting go process, the importance of how important life is. You know, I think one of the biggest things I can take from that is that we have to say all of our I love yous, and say all of our, our I'm sorry, because life can be taken from you so quickly. You know, there's a 20-year-old girl, she's out doing her thing, she has a blood clot, and the next thing you know, she's unconscious and she'll never speak again, and the family's by her side until she passes. I mean, life is so fragile, and I think we think we're so immortal sometimes.
Especially when we're young.
Especially when we're young.
I know I was.
Yeah, so was I.
Wow. Tell us where we can get more information about Angel Tales, and if they need to connect with you or reach you, or if they're interested in the foundation, where can they go?
You can go to the website. It's theangeltales.com.
Now, they need the in front of it.
Yeah, the www. I don't think we really have to do that anymore these days, especially in the bigger search engines. But www.theangeltales.com.
Fantastic. Deneene, thank you very much for being on the show. It's not something I think we think about really very much until we are forced to. So what you're doing is pretty wonderful, and I, once again, thank you for coming.
And Lisa, thank you for having me here at the Heartland this morning.
All right.